Hey everyone, Colin once again, and welcome back to the next movie review. And next, now since I reviewed the all-time classic of the first Terminator, still love the film, and now on to reviewing of the sequel, Terminator 2: Judgment Day, released in 1991. Now, Terminator 2: Judgment Day. When this film came out, when it was a huge success, and during this time, this is a time when people wouldn't stop talking about. For a longest time, people would not stop talking about Terminator 2: Judgment Day. You know, and also one of the things that whether it's either James Cameron or Arnold Schwarzenegger, if people talk about, they would automatically talk about Terminator 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator 2. James Cameron, Terminator 2, right? I mean, people were just all over this movie, so hyping this film up so much, when it came out. I mean, yeah. It was easily the highest grossing film in 1991, made over $500 million worldwide. Critically acclaimed, and I still like Terminator 2. I still think it's a great sequel. It's still a classic sequel nonetheless. Now people will say this is the best. A lot of people say this is the best one in the series. Understandably so. But the thing is though, to me, the first Terminator is still my favorite of the series. Because, like I said, I enjoy the horror element of the movie, with this dark tone. Just, it's a horror film. That's one of the main things that was most appealing to me about it. Here, though, it's more light toned. Doesn't have that dark, eerie feel about it like the first one does. So this is more lighter tone, though. But still, nonetheless, though, still a good movie, though. Nonetheless, though. And I'm not knocking this film in any way. I still thoroughly enjoy the film. I still think that James Cameron, I think, even though it's not dark as the first one was, or you get more lighthearted humor as well, but I still think that James Cameron did all that stuff very well still. Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator coming back, I still think he still does a good job. Then you got Linda Hamilton coming back. I think she did a much better job too. Her working out, more buff, and then you got Robert Patrick as the T-1000. I think he did an excellent job as the T-1000. I think he was a great choice. I had to believe that he, because before this, the year before, he had a small role in Die Hard 2 as one of William Sadler's henchmen, right? The shooting sequence in that terminal, and it's like one SWAT guy's like, "Hey asshole, what do I look like to you?" And Robert Patrick goes, "A sitting duck." And then before Bruce Willis shoots him, that had to be like someone had to recognize him or recommend it to James Cameron. Him in Die Hard 2, and had to give him the role for this, right? It had to be, But I think Robert Patrick did a really great job as the T-1000. Just because instead of having another big muscular guy like Arnold, have someone who's like more skinny, you could say, but just more normal looking, And I think Robert Patrick played that pretty good. And like the fact that this guy's, playing as a cop, which makes sense, and because you can give more information out when you're a cop, right? And he plays it like he doesn't have that. When he like asking the foster parents questions, right? He doesn't look like scary or intimidating looking. He plays it as calm and cool, asking simple questions, asking the foster parents, like when they're asking, when they ask, there was a guy here that was earlier on a bike, right? And it's like, is he anything to do with it? And he's like, no, I wouldn't worry about him. Thank you for your cooperation. Yeah, he plays it as a cool, kind looking kind person, a cop, right? But then when he finds John Connor, he goes facial expression just full Terminator mode, right, in his face. Robert Patrick was an excellent choice, just like I said, just kind of like normal looking guy, right, for a Terminator, and he can run, him for him in the shape he was back then. He can run. Didn't look like he was like tired at all when he was running. Especially when we got that great score by Bradford Dell, dun 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 dun. Love the score by Bradford Dell. It was definitely another great score by Bradford Dell for this film, for the sequel too. And then Edward Furlong as John Connor. I think he still did a pretty good job as John Connor. Though I think this is the only film that he stars in that was worth a shit, because years after this, films he was starring like Pet Sematary 2. There was another film he starred. Was it Scanner Cop? Was it Scanner Cop? The film he did afterwards were not that great. I mean, of course there was like he did with the drugs and all that stuff. I mean, just. I mean, after T2, his career just went to shit afterwards. So, well. But still, nonetheless, he still was pretty good as John Connor still. And other supporting cast members, I mean, for the foster parents, you have Jeanette Goldstein, Vasquez from Aliens, as the foster mother, and the foster father is played by Xander Berkeley. Xander Berkeley, I remember most when he was the double crossing Secret Service agent in Air Force One. He was he was the mole to the bad guys and became the traitor, and of course he would later go on to play Greg in The Walking Dead, but I've seen Xander Berkeley in many other roles, movies too as well. Of course, you have I forgot the guy's name. Who was the psychiatrist who did in the first Terminator. Who didn't believe Michael Biehn that he was crazy. He comes back in this. But overall, yeah, I think the cast was very good still. Joe Morton, who plays his character named Mike Dyson, who works for a company for Cyberdyne. Joe Morton, well, I see him in Speed. He came back in a little role in Speed 2. But I remember him in the first Speed, though, the most. And then, of course, he would later star in Justice League as Cyborg's father. But Joe Morton, I've seen him other stuff, too, though. I like Joe Morton as an actor. Of course, this is one who people recognize him from most of this film. I mostly remember from Speed. But he's the guy who kind of like his company, because they took the computer chip and the metal on the arm from the remains in the first film after when Sarah Connor crushed it, right? The arm was sticking out, so they took that arm and then wherever the chip it has left. He thinks he's doing good though, but he doesn't know that it could cause the end of the world, Judgment Day. And he's a nice guy too, because he has a wife and kid as well. Afterwards, in the setting, I think it was 1997, Arnold comes back as the Terminator, but good guy this time. And he goes to this bar, asks for this guy, give his clothes, his boots, He's tossing people around, and throws the guy onto the grill, until he gives up his clothes. And then I forgot to mention the first film where you have George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone playing. I forgot to mention the first one that I played it too, when he got the clothes as well. Here, this one was more memorable in this one here when he got the clothes, Bad to the bone, yeah. Of course, before the first Terminator, year prior, 1983, George Thorogood's Bad to the Bone was in Christine, John Carpenter's Christine. bad to the bone, down, 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 down. And then John Connor. I've read Linda Hamilton does the narration where it shows once again the future. After the devastating future. Really good practical models and set pieces for how the future looks. And John Connor, older John Connor. I just like how the way I thought the guy, even though the guy who plays older John Connor, even though he has no line of dialogue at all, but just how the way this John Connor looked when he's looking through the binoculars and to see him with the scars and stuff. I really like that way. To me, I think this is the best interpretation of John Connor, older John Connor. I mean, Nick Stahl. We saw how older John Connor played by Nick Stahl in the third film. Older there, but I think I prefer this John Connor look, this older John Connor look in this future right here. Yeah, he has no line of dialogue at all. He's just looking through binoculars, but then you see just how just the scars and stuff like that. I think that's the best look of the older John Connor right here. Even though the guy didn't say that has no dialogue at all, he appears for like about 30 seconds though. But I really like that look of that John Connor. The actor, whoever got the actor to play that one right there, that old John Connor there. So then, Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, she's in a mental institution, and we see her like working out, doing pull-ups and stuff. And then with John Connor, Edward Furlong, of course, he's what's the word? Not degenerate, but what's the name? What's that word? I forgot what the freaking word was. It's not degenerate though, but just he doesn't care for his foster parents, but he thinks his real mother is a loser, and so she says she belongs in a psycho ward. And then we have Robert Patrick, who gets the cop clothing, trying to find where John Connor lives for the foster parents. Like I said, he's playing it. Sorry, I got something in my eye here. Playing it like all calm and cool, right? Asking questions like a cop would, until when they go to the mall and they find him out. Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in, tries to protect him. Takes bullets for him. And then we get this really good chase scene where we see Robert Patrick. He's just running, booking it. For him at that time, he didn't look like he was tired at all when he was running. And once again, get the great score by Bradford Dell. Dun dun dun, dun dun dun. And you get the really good chase scene where the T-1000 is chasing after John Connor on his bike. You get this big truck, this big rig truck, chase him into this aqueduct. And Arnold, I really like that when he's on the motorcycle, when he's shooting, and then how he just flips the gun to cock it right, just. I always like that move when he does how he cocks the gun. And then just really good explosion when the truck explodes, and when they see the T-1000 walk out into the flames, just looking like this. I really like this look for the CGI at the time for 1991. I thought it's still really well done. How the way the T-1000 looks like this, which there was also a good mixture of practical effects as well, done by once again by Stan Winston. With the T-1000, there was still a good mixture of good CGI and practical stuff, as well. So it wasn't entirely all CGI, but they mixed it up. That's why I liked about it. And I did like the whole. Idea of this. This Terminator is made of a liquid metal. I really like the idea of that. And so he knows that so Edward Furlong, John Connor knows that he's a Terminator, sent to protect him, that his future self sent to protect him, and he knows that he can follow his commands, like, hey, stand your 1 foot. He does it, and explains what the T-1000 is. He tries to call his foster parents, and you still get the R-rated. You still get the R-ratedness though. Yeah, it's more light. It's more a lighter tone than the first film was, though. But you still get the R rated where the calls the foster parents, Jeanette Goldstein, and is on the phone, and John Connor knows that something's off about her, and you have like Arnold Schwarzenegger doing John's voice, trying to get the names mixed up about the dog, and then Jeanette Goldstein, well, is the T-1000 posing as her, right? Because whoever, it can take the form of anything it touches, so it pretends to be her. But then it's like with Xander Berkeley when he's drinking the milk carton, right? And then the T-1000 posing as Jeanette Goldstein goes this to, which you don't see it though, but you hear that's like kind of like splatter sound, like when she does this, and like that's off. And then when the camera pans, shows like how it's like a long spear, right through Xander Berkeley's mouth, even through the milk carton too, you know, right through the milk carton, through his mouth, through the back of his head. I'm like, oh shit, you know. That still gives me like that oh shit feel, you know. And then this also during this, and also in the extended cuts, you know, we get more extended scenes, like he goes and kills the dog from the leash that was the wrong name. You see that part in the extended scene where he goes through John Connor's room, looking through his room. And so Johnny decides to go get his mom, to break his mom out of the mental institution. And says he tells the Terminator, I was like, you can't kill people or anything. Why? Because you can't. It's wrong. And before they get in there, he says, raise your right hand and say, I swear I will not kill anybody. He makes it, and Arnold does it. And he goes and shoots the guard outside in the leg, and he goes and says, he'll live. See, that's humor that I think James Cameron handled well, compared to all the stupid humor in the later sequels, like I said, Terminator 3, oh, talk to the hand, or Terminator Genesis. The Terminator is a joke in that one, where Arnold's posing as a mugshot, where you have the song "Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do," and then Terminator Dark Fate. Fuck that movie. Because there's problems. I'll get into that afterwards. I was gonna get more pissed off then. But anyway, so and then like Linda Hamilton, she fucks over this one orderly, or this perverted guy who was like licking her earlier, but beats the crap out of him, beats his face in. Or before that, you know, they're part of a deleted scene where you have Michael Biehn come back as Kyle Reese, but it's like probably like a kind of like a dream, asking where you gotta protect our son, you know. I mean, it was nice to see Michael Biehn for that one scene though, but I can see why they took that out for a deleted scene. I can see that. I can see why. It's just like that one deleted scene where in Elektra, you know, Jennifer Garner's Elektra, there was a deleted scene with Ben Affleck coming back though for that one scene. You know, for trying to be still being canon though. That was a shit film anyway. So, pff. And then when she's trying to escape and she sees Arnold again, she freaks out, she flips out and starts running back, and then Arnold just takes the orderly, just throws against a window, throws another one to a wall, and the one female guard breaks his glasses. She goes and takes her face like this and just pushes her away. And then the one psychiatrist from the first film sees the T-1000 Robert Patrick go through the bars, and he's like, he doesn't get killed though, because the T-1000 he's shooting at Arnold just runs right past him. And then you get what Arnold just gets the shotgun, blasts right the face of Robert Patrick. You see like the good, really well done effect of the face being split open and split like this. Either it's a good mixture of practical or CGI. Either way, it still looks well done. It has arms that can make like hooks, and so then after that they find a place to hide. This part of the desert, because Linda Hamilton knows some people, and you get John Connor trying to teach the Terminator, trying to be more human, right? You know, like learn how to learn how to smile, or saying lines like "Hasta la vista, baby," and just trying to teach him how to be more human, right? And so afterwards, then Linda Hamilton has that famous nightmare scene where the world is ending, and really memorable nightmare sequence where everything's exploding in fire, and even when she turns into a skeleton. Very well done nightmare sequence, really well done. And so she finds out where Joe Morton is, tries to kill him, but ultimately she doesn't do it. And then when Arnold tears the flesh off the arm to show the robotic hand, and explains to him about Judgment Day. And so they go to Cyberdyne, try to destroy all the evidence to lead anything to lead up to Judgment Day. And then it's when the police come. Joe Morton gets shot, so he's holding the detonator. He tells the police to get out because he's gonna drop it because he can't hold on much longer until ultimately he does. The whole floor explodes, and you have Arnold. You go with the Gatling gun shooting all the vehicles, and then he goes and shoots all the cops in the knees. Before it's like tells the both of them to wait there, and he says, and then he smiles, "Trust me." And which in this case makes sense that he's a good Terminator, because bad Terminator in the first film, good Terminator in this, so it does make sense in this case here, where he tells him it's wrong to kill people, so that's why he's shooting them all in the legs or in the knees. And then they get to a SWAT van. Robert Patrick gets to the helicopter and tells the pilot, like how Arnold said in the first film, "Get out." And well, it is in his liquid metal form, and the guy goes and jumps out. And you get this really fun chase sequence where they're driving the van and the helicopter, while the helicopter's behind them. Actual helicopter is flying. You can see actually flying under the bridge. Sarah Connor gets shot. I think in the shoulder. And then when Arnold steps on the brake, smashes the helicopter. And then the Robert Patrick, he goes and kills this truck driver who's driving like liquid nitrogen, and the guy who he kills, the truck driver, is actually I forget the guy's name, Terrence something. He will later star in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. He's the guy in the wheelchair with no legs, of course, in the shitty prequel where he does get his legs cut off. But yeah, he's the guy in the wheelchair in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And also, he was also starred in Tobe Hooper's Crocodile, that crap film. But yeah, that's the truck driver who he kills. So he's driving the liquid nitrogen truck, and then when they get into another vehicle, and then Arnold, one instance, gets a gun, gets right up to Robert Patrick's face and starts shooting it, filling it full of holes, turns the truck around where it falls on its side. And then after that, Robert Patrick gets covered in liquid nitrogen. He freezes up. And that's when you get Arnold saying, "Hasta la vista, baby," and just breaks him to pieces. But then, thanks to the hot metal, right, it melts and he reforms himself. And you get this another fun fight where Robert Patrick's fighting Arnold, where he's throwing him around. I like the fact where Robert Patrick hits a wall like this, but then he flips himself like this. Like, say, first, like, my back is turned, and then all of a sudden he flips himself to look like this. Well done effect, and then he tries to punch a hole right into Robert Patrick's head, but it turns into his fist. All this, like, this liquid stuff, metal effects, CGI too, though, I thought it was a bit creative back then, Unlike today, it is. Nothing hardly ever is creative nowadays. And then he goes and and then Arnold gets his arm caught in the gear, tears his arm off, gets his metal pole, tries to, just cuts Robert Patrick in half, but then he gets back up, and then Robert Patrick takes the spear or the metal pole and stabs right through Arnold, thinking he's dead. And the T-1000 tries to trick John Connor by pretending to be Sarah Connor. Linda Hamilton has a nice moment where she's one-handed pumping the shotgun, shooting, boom, and until she runs out of bullets, and then once again the good music by Brad Fiedel as well. Until when she runs out of bullets, then Robert Patrick's like that, and then when Arnold rolls up, gets the one last grenade, the grenade launcher, one last bullet, right? Shoots, and then you got Robert Patrick's the horror look on his face when he gets shot. He's like, just really well done explosion too. He's like all fucked up. He's like this, and you have that horrible screeching sound, like, and then he falls into the vat of hot metal, then just goes and melts. Oh, I forgot to mention the interesting way how he becomes the people he by the way he touches, what I said before earlier, like with Jeanette Goldstein, right? Because I forgot to mention earlier in the Institute, there's this one guard, and where he becomes first he becomes the floor, and he slowly rises up as the floor, and he pretends to be the same guard as he impersonates until when he kills the guy, like with his finger. Not like doesn't go right through the eyeball, but like right here, this part right here on the eye, and the guy's like twitching like this. And I think also it's the same guy. Well, actually not the same guy, but the two guys, the guard he impersonates, right? I think those are actually twins. Yeah, I think those are the same twins that were in Gremlins 2 that worked with Christopher Lee. Yeah, I think those are the same two twins that were in Gremlins 2. That's funny. I thought when they filmed that, I guess how the one twin feels when he kills his own brother, his own identical brother, with like, and the guys got like twitching, went right there, And that's another one that was like, oh shit, just like right there, the one. Ugh, that's how the way it looked, I was like, oh shit, But that was another good kill as well. But anyway, as he melts away, dead. So they take the remains of the Terminator, the arm, and the computer chip. They throw it in there, and so they think it's over though. But Arnold still has his own chip in his head though, so that no one can take it. So he has to kill himself, but he can't do it himself though. He has someone else do it because he said he can't self-terminate. And John, you get this emotional moment where he doesn't want him to go, stay with them, but he can't. Or you get before they get that funny line where Arnold goes, "I need a vacation." That was also a funny joke as well. But you still get that emotional moment where John Connor, he's crying, and Arnold hugs him, You get that it was a very nice emotional moment for. I thought Edward Furlong played that part pretty well. Doesn't want him to go though, but he has to. Linda Hamilton shakes hands with them, and before he slowly lowers him into the hot metal, and that's where you get that also a memorable piece from score from Brad Fiedel, and then of course by the end does the famous thumbs up, the famous thumbs up, and so. After that, that's what ends with Linda Hamilton saying, the fate that we make, Which, sad to say, that all becomes pointless in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. All that becomes pointless because in Terminator 3, Judgment Day is inevitable. So yeah, they were only postponed it after that. So it kind of makes the second film pointless, which it does. I mean, Terminator 3, it's not the worst. It's not the worst sequel. I mean, there were things I did like about Terminator 3, which I will get to though. There were some positive things I could say about Terminator 3, but overall, it just made Terminator 2 pointless. That's the thing. But actually, the thing is though, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, it's not the worst sequel easily because Genesis pissed me off more, and then Dark Fate pissed me off even more. Because Terminator Dark Fate makes Terminator 2 also pointless because by this point, Saving trying to protect John Connor in this film is pointless because in Terminator Dark Fate, no, it's this girl that is like the chosen one to be saved, not John Connor. So that's another big freaking insult to this movie. That's one thing that makes this film pointless too, because the whole time trying to protect John Connor in this, no, he's not the one to protect because they kill him because it's actually this girl they need to protect in Terminator Dark Fate. And sadly, Linda Hamilton in that movie, she looks bored out of her mind in that movie. Sad to say, she only became bad because James Cameron, for that film, he produced it. Probably that's why she came back for it. And that film bombed, deservingly so. It bombed, and since then, there's been no other Ask About Terminator film since then. Which I'm like, good. This franchise needs to stop. They should have just ended it with Terminator 2. Because Terminator 2, the Judgment Day would have been stopped, but no, they keep on going though. But I'm saying Terminator Dark Fate, that's pissing me off even more because that it makes it more insulting in this film because protecting John Connor didn't matter in this. Terminator Genesis, you have Arnold in a mugshot with Bad Boys, what you gonna do? And taking out the T-1000 so easily just through acid and killing the younger Terminator from the first film within 30 seconds, just a bullet to the head. Genesis and Dark Fate, they just pissed me off, Well, Dark Fate did, because it did more insulting. And also think as though, making John Connor the bad guy in Terminator Genesis, everything's just so wrong about those sequels. That's why I say Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, I overall don't like though, but it can't be any worse than the other two sequels, like Genesis and Dark Fate. Because again, there are some things I did like about Terminator 3, but Terminator Salvation I can still watch because it doesn't connect. When we watch the film, there's no connection with the first two films. It doesn't bring up the first two films. I'm trying to say, it's just focusing on its own time, and it's focusing on its own time in Terminator Salvation. So I can still watch Terminator Salvation. I think Christian Bale was decent as John Connor, but I think to me they just stopped with T2. This is the film, like I said, this film was so hyped, If anyone would talk about Arnold, it's Terminator. To me, I think when I think of Arnold, I think of all his other films, not just Terminator 2. I think of Total Recall, Predator, End of Days, Jingle All the Way, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, or when we talk about action, stuff like that, like Collateral Damage, or other ones, not Junior, no. Or even Batman and Robin. That's a bad example though. But that's probably another thing people remember Arnold from his bad performance in Batman and Robin. So I guess you could say he's memorable in that way. But yeah, Predator. Yeah, I said Total Recall. The Running Man. Yeah, Running Man. Hey, Christmas tree. But yeah. But if it comes to James Cameron, Aliens, one of the greatest sequels of all time, one of my favorite films of all time. I love Aliens to death. The Abyss, the first Terminator, yeah. True Lies, like I said. That's the last time back when James Cameron was worth a shit now, because I don't like this. I'm not a fan of Titanic. I don't like his Avatar films, and I talked about James Cameron recently in that vlog about him throwing his 2 cents into those 4K Blu-rays of True Lies with the awkward looking Arnold with his eye going this way. If he messed up that for True Lies, imagine what he's gonna do for Aliens and The Abyss. Jeez. James Cameron, that's why he's Jimmy Cammy, that's why. That's why he goes by that. He goes by that name because he just can't stop throwing his 2 cents and everything into his movies. You know, let the other people handle the Blu-rays and stuff like that and the 4Ks. But anyway, but Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I mean, this came out. I was just born when this came out. Really enough. This came out in July. I was only a month old when this came out because I was born in the beginning of June. This came out at the beginning of July, so I was only a month old when this came out. It just makes me feel so old when I compare it to when I was only a month old when this came out. I just can't believe that. It just makes me feel so freaking old right now. But regardless, though, I still enjoy Terminator 2 thoroughly. It's still a classic sequel. To me, like I said before, the first Terminator is still my favorite, though. But regardless of all of that, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he still did a good job as the Terminator. Linda Hamilton, she did also a good job as Sarah Connor. Robert Patrick, excellent, perfect as the T-1000. Edward Furlong, sadly his career went to shit after Terminator 2, sad to say, but he was still good as John Connor. The great score by Brad Fiedel. Great effects by Stan Winston. Easily fast-paced. The action sequences were handled well. Good use of both practical and CGI for the Terminator effects. Other casts, I like Joe Morton. Let's say with Jeanette Goldstein and Alexander Berkeley. Of course, this has this is a 2-disc edition. Has more documentaries, has a making of T2 featurette, T2 More Than Meets the Eye featurette, the making of the 2D, 3D, breaking the screen barrier, just a lot of other features as well. So, but yeah, really good, memorable movie. I just think there's more. If people talk about this movie or anything else, if anyone talks about Arnold Schwarzenegger as this film, I just go reflect on the other films that he's done. I mean, even his cameo appearance in the first Expendables, you know, I liked. You know, him in the same room with Bruce Willis and Sylvester Stallone. That was cool. But sadly, his track record to me, I think he should just retire, Arnold. I mean, I like you, Arnold, but a lot growing up. But I think just retire, you know, just stop acting now. Because his track record hasn't been not that good in years. I mean, with what was it, Sabotage, Maggie, Killing Gunther, I think it was. And then, what was that? There was another Arnold one that was done. To me, the last, Escape Plan was disappointing. To me, the last good one he did was 2013's The Last Stand. To me, that was like the last good film he's done. The Last Stand, with him and Johnny Knoxville. But I will still, regardless though, with his track record not been good, I still like Arnold a lot growing up. To me, he's still a really good actor. It's just that I think he's just retire, you know. Same with Stallone, just retire, and all these other actors who are up there in age. Harrison Ford, I think he should just retire, you know, because he's 82, not 82, but 80. I mean, I said 2 as in TOO. He's 82, so he should just be retired too. All these other good actors that are up there in age, they just retire, you know, because they can't move around like they used to, you know, they can't do the things that they used to because they're older now, so. But regardless, though, Terminator 2 is still a very fun, kick-ass sequel, a classic sequel. Nonetheless, though, people still think it's the best one in the series. I can understand that, though, but I'll stick. To me, the first film is still the best one, in my opinion. But this film is still a very good movie, classic movie as well. And it was. I hardly see any problems at all with the movie at all. So that's Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Still thumbs up. Still is. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Later.